storytelling the magical world.
Hello again, my little explorers. Are you ready to continue our adventure? At the end of our last story, a very curious girl named Lily met two new wonderful friends, a friendly crocodile in a rainbow suit named Crocotuf, and a fluffy, wise cat with glowing green eyes named Meowsen. They told her a big secret about a magical world that was losing its power and a mysterious door that couldn't be opened because the magic in their garden was fading. But Lily is not a girl who gives up easily, and Crocotuf and Meowsen gave her a very special gift, a shiny emerald green leaf that was also a map. It pointed the way to the first missing piece of magic, a place called the Whispering Willows. And so, as the sun began to set, casting long, sleepy shadows over the garden, our three new friends began their journey. They walked side by side past tall daisies and sleepy roses, the air growing cooler and the garden growing quieter. Lily held the map leaf carefully in her hand. It pulsed with a gentle, steady rhythm, like a tiny, excited heart. They walked for a long time until the last bit of sunlight disappeared behind the trees, leaving the garden bathed in a soft, silvery moonlight. That's when they arrived. In front of them stood a huge, ancient willow tree. Its long, droopy branches hung all the way to the ground like a quiet curtain, hiding what was behind it. It was a little bit spooky and a little bit magical, exactly the way her grandma had described it. "This is the place," Crocotuf whispered, his voice a low rumble. "The Whispering Willows." Meowsen's ears twitched, his luminous green eyes darting back and forth as if he could already see the secrets the tree was hiding. Suddenly, a soft breeze rustled through the willow's branches, and they seemed to sway and move, as if they were waving hello, or maybe telling them to go away. A soft, airy sound filled the air, like 1,000 tiny voices speaking at once, a whisper. Lily held the map leaf tighter. Her heart was beating a happy, fast rhythm now. She felt a little nervous, but mostly excited. She looked at Crocotuf and Meowsen, and she knew she was exactly where she was supposed to be.
Lily, Crocotuf, and Meowsen stood before the enormous willow tree. The air felt thick with magic, and the soft, gentle whispers grew louder. The branches swayed like long green fingers, inviting them in, or maybe warning them to stay away. Lily took a brave step forward. The map leaf in her hand began to glow, a soft, pulsing light that seemed to say, "This way, this way." As they moved deeper under the canopy of branches, the world outside disappeared, and they were in a completely new place. The ground was covered in soft, luminous moss, and the light came from 1,000 tiny, sparkling fireflies that danced in the air like living constellations. "Look," Lily whispered, pointing to the ground. She saw a small path made of smooth, gray stones that seemed to glow faintly. It wound its way through the moss, deeper into the heart of the Whispering Willows. Crocotuf took the lead, his big, friendly feet stepping carefully on the glowing path. He moved slowly, his keen crocodile eyes scanning the surroundings. Meowsen followed close behind, his fluffy white tail swishing with a mix of curiosity and caution. Lily held on to the map leaf, feeling a warmth that spread all the way to her toes. They followed the path as it curved and twisted. The whispers of the tree grew louder now. They sounded like echoes of long-forgotten stories. Stories about brave knights and playful dragons, about hidden treasures and magical spells. Suddenly, Meowsen stopped dead in his tracks, his huge green eyes fixed on something just off the path. He let out a low, curious growl, a sound Lily had never heard from him before. Crocotuf stopped too and turned to look. Lily squinted, trying to see what had caught Meowsen's attention. And then she saw it. Just beyond the path, nestled in the luminous moss, was a tiny glass bottle. It was shaped like a star, and inside was a brilliant, sparkling light. It wasn't just glowing, it seemed to be dancing, like a tiny trapped piece of sunlight. Lily's heart did a little flip-flop. Could this be it? The first missing piece of magic? She started to reach for it, but Crocotuf put a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Wait," he rumbled softly. "The whispers are getting louder." As he spoke, the whispers turned into a soft, swirling breeze, a little gust of wind that picked up the star-shaped bottle and carried it away, deeper into the willows. The sparkling light inside the bottle seemed to wink at them as it disappeared, just out of reach. The three friends looked at each other, a mix of disappointment and determination on their faces. The Whispering Willows weren't going to make it easy for them. The magic was playing a game of its own, a magical game of hide and seek.
The three friends stood frozen, watching the tiny star-shaped bottle carried away by the magical breeze. It was a moment of pure disappointment. Lily was a little bit sad, Crocotuf looked a little bit glum, and Meowsen let out a soft, sad meow. But their disappointment didn't last long. Lily remembered Crocotuf's words. This was a game, and they had to play along. "We can't just stand here," Lily said, her voice full of new energy. "We have to follow it." And so they ran. The little glowing path was their guide, but the starlight bottle was faster. It zipped and zoomed through the willow branches, twinkling like a tiny firefly trying to get away. They followed it as it swirled around the trunk of a great old tree, then ducked under a hanging branch and circled a patch of glowing mushrooms. Crocotuf, with his long legs, could move fast, but the tree's low branches kept getting in his way. He had to duck and weave, his rainbow suit shimmering in the moonlight. Meowsen, being a cat, was agile and fast. He leaped over roots and scrambled up little hills, always keeping his luminous green eyes on the sparkling bottle. And Lily, she was the best at finding small spaces. She ducked under the lowest branches and squeezed through the tightest spots. Her little backpack bumped against her back as she ran as fast as she could. The chase led them to a small, hidden clearing. The starlight bottle suddenly stopped and hovered in the air. It was glowing brighter now, as if waiting for them to... "Look!" Meowsen meowed, his tail twitching excitedly. In the center of the clearing, sitting on a little mossy pedestal, was a small, empty glass bottle. It was the same shape as the one they were chasing, a perfect clear star. The runaway starlight bottle zipped over to the empty one, and without a sound, the magical light flowed from one to the other, like pouring a cup of liquid light. The empty bottle began to glow with the same brilliant, sparkling light. It was a small piece of magic, a part of their world finally back where it belonged. Crocotuf let out a low, happy rumble, and Meowsen rubbed up against the newly filled bottle, purring loudly. Lily smiled, a big, wide smile. They had found it, the first missing piece of magic. But as Lily reached out to pick up the bottle, a low, grumbling sound filled the clearing. It wasn't a purr or a rumble. It was a deep, sleepy groan. The mossy pedestal started to shake, and cracks appeared in the ground around it. They had woken something up, something big. The ground shook again, the deep groan growing louder. Lily, Crocotuf, and Meowsen looked at each other, their hearts pounding. Whatever they had woken up, it was not happy. "Quickly," Crocotuf rumbled, his eyes darting around the clearing. "We need to go!" But before they could move, the ground beneath the pedestals split open with a deep, cracking sound, and a small creature, no bigger than Meowsen, slowly emerged. It was made entirely of stone, with glowing cracks that ran all over its body, as if it had been broken and then put back together. Its eyes, two tiny pebbles of pure shadow, glowed with a faint, angry light. The creature was a grumble, a guardian of the willows, awakened by the return of the starlight. It let out a soft, rumbling growl and took a slow, heavy step towards them. Lily's breath hitched. She wasn't scared, not really, but she was surprised. This creature was not what she expected. It looked sad and a little bit tired, as if it had been asleep for a very, very long time. Crocotuf put a gentle hand on Lily's shoulder. "The grumble won't hurt us," he whispered. "It's just protecting the magic." Meowsen let out a soft meow, as if he understood. He walked a little closer to the stone creature, sniffing the air. The grumble stopped, its head tilted to the side, its angry glow fading just a little.
Meowsen let out another soft meow, and then he did something unexpected. He walked right up to the stone grumble and gently rubbed his soft fur against the creature's leg. The grumble's glowing eyes of pure shadow blinked once, then twice. Its angry glow faded even more, and a low, sad sound came from deep inside its rocky body. Lily understood. The grumble wasn't angry. It was lonely. It had been guarding the starlight magic for so long, all alone. Crocotuf stepped forward slowly. "We're not here to steal the magic, old friend," he said, his voice a low, soothing rumble. "We are here to help it." The grumble tilted its head, as if listening very carefully. It looked from Crocotuf's shimmering rainbow suit to Lily's determined face, and then back to the newly filled bottle of starlight. It let out a soft groan, and slowly, very slowly, it lifted a rocky hand and pointed toward a gap in the willow branches. The whispers from the tree grew louder, as if 1,000 voices were cheering them on. The grumble had shown them the way. It was a new path, deeper into the willows. Lily reached out and gently picked up the star-shaped bottle of starlight. It felt warm and light in her hand. A small, happy piece of magic, now safe with them. With a final gentle rumble, the grumble settled back into the ground, its glowing cracks fading as it went back to its long sleep.
The three friends looked at each other. They had their first piece of magic in a new path to follow. The adventure was getting bigger and more exciting.
With their first piece of magic safe in Lily's hands and the Grumble sleeping peacefully, the three friends continued on their way. The new path was made of smooth, flat stones that glowed with a faint silvery light. It wound its way deeper into the heart of the willows, where the air was cooler and the whispers of the trees were clearer. Now, the whispers weren't just echoes of old stories. They were a song, a beautiful, gentle tune that seemed to guide them. It was the song of the Whispering Willows. The branches that had once seemed spooky now moved with a graceful dance, as if they were dancing to the music. Suddenly, the path stopped. In front of them was a wide, deep stream. The water was so clear you could see the smooth, colorful pebbles at the bottom. Lily, Crocotuf, and Meowsen looked across the stream and saw something amazing. On the other side, a small silver beetle sat on a lily pad. Its shell was the color of a cool evening sky, and it glowed with a soft blue light. It was beautiful, and it seemed to be waiting for them. "That's our next piece of magic," Lily whispered, her eyes wide with excitement. "A piece of the evening sky." But there was no bridge, and the stream was too wide to jump. Crocotuf looked at the water, then at the beetle, and then at his rainbow suit. He sighed a puff of warm air, and a hint of sadness came into his eyes. "The stream, it only gets deeper as the magic fades. We can't cross it." Meowsen let out a soft meow and walked to the very edge of the water. He crouched down low, his paws just above the surface. Lily watched him, and suddenly she understood what he was thinking. She had a feeling that the stream held its own secret and that they were about to discover it.
Lily's eyes widened and a grin spread across her face. She knew what Meowsen was thinking. He wasn't just planning to jump across the water, he was planning to walk on it. Meowsen let out a soft, confident meow, and with a powerful leap, he landed on the surface of the stream. The water rippled gently beneath his paws, but he didn't sink. He took a few slow, careful steps, as if he were walking on a bouncy, watery trampoline. His big green eyes were fixed on the silver beetle on the other side. Crocotuf gasped softly. "The stream! It's a test!" he rumbled, his voice filled with amazement. "It only holds those who are light of heart." Lily, with a new sense of bravery, took a deep breath. She looked at the shimmering water, then at Meowsen, who was now halfway across, and then at Crocotuf. She put her faith in her new friends and took a step. Her foot landed on the surface of the water, and to her surprise, she didn't sink either. The water felt cool and gentle, like a liquid cloud. "It works!" she cried out happily. "We can walk on the water!" Crocotuf, with his heavy body, looked nervous. "I'm not sure I'm light of heart. I am a crocodile after all," he rumbled, with a hint of worry in his voice. Meowsen, now safely on the other side, let out a demanding meow, as if to say, "Don't be silly, come on." Crocotuf took a deep breath, looked at his rainbow suit, which seemed to shimmer with a little extra magic, and with a graceful step, he landed on the water. A few ripples spread out from his feet, but he was solid. He was walking on water. His kindness and his big, happy heart were just as light as Lily's and Meowsen's. The three friends crossed the stream together, their hearts filled with wonder.
And on the other side, the silver beetle of the evening sky sat patiently waiting for them.
The three friends stood on the far bank of the stream, their feet finally touching the solid ground again. They had all passed the test. The stream had shown them that their hearts were light and true. The silver beetle, which had been waiting so patiently, took a small step forward. Its beautiful blue glowing shell seemed to pulse with a gentle rhythm. It slowly crawled off the lily pad and onto Lily's hand. The cold, smooth shell felt like a piece of the night sky, and the soft light from the beetle spread to Lily's whole arm, then her body, making her glow with a beautiful soft blue light. She had collected their second piece of magic. Lily's heart swelled with happiness. The Whispering Willows had welcomed them, and now a piece of the magic was with them. She carefully placed the tiny glowing sky beetle into her backpack, next to the star-shaped bottle. The two pieces of magic pulsed with a soft light, a tiny magical heartbeat. Crocotuf smiled, a deep, happy smile. "We have done it, Lily," he rumbled softly. "The Whispering Willows have given us their secrets." Meowsen let out a soft, happy purr, rubbing his head against Lily's leg. Just then, a final whisper came from the ancient willow tree. A powerful, gentle, magical voice. It wasn't a secret anymore. It was a message. "The firefly will show you the way to the shimmering mountains." The whispers faded, and the air in the clearing returned to normal. Lily, Crocotuf, and Meowsen looked at each other. The Whispering Willows had not only given them magic, but a new clue, a new place to go, the Shimmering Mountains. The adventure was far over now. What secrets are hiding in the Shimmering Mountains? And what other magic will they find there? The journey continues in our next episode. To be continued in episode 3, The Secret of the Shimmering Mountains.
Bye. See you next time.